Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm going to talk today about bioenergy. So I work on bioenergy projects with the Tyndall Centre. Bioenergy is quite interesting for the UK because, believe it or not, it's the largest renewable energy source, contributing power, heat, transport fuels, all sorts of fuels, and also is interesting for the bioeconomy. So go to the next slide, please. This is my what do we do slide. So myself and colleagues in the Tunnel Centre, we work on bioenergy, basically using it for many policy objectives. For example, we work with all those different government departments. For instance, at the minute, through the Supergen Bioenergy Hub, we're influencing the UK bioenergy strategy. We work on large bioenergy projects and schemes, such as working with the likes of DRAX or the HyNet project, looking at feasibility. We do lots of emissions accounting, looking at what the emissions profile is across different countries, especially given we are sourcing materials from further and further fields. We do lots of sustainable development work, looking at actors and supply chains and what's really important to people and bioenergy, because bioenergy is very much intrinsically linked to people and the land. So we do lots of work around the world and sustainable development case studies. We do resource modeling, what resources are available where and how best to use it. As I said, we work on sustainable development projects, specifically, for example, Kenya and Philippines, the ones we've recently worked on. What resources can be grown there to decarbonize various elements of their sectors. They're very much linked to the SDGs, who work on bioenergy and how bioenergy may be a mechanism to achieve the SDGs. We look at supply chains, where materials being transported from A to B, what the impacts of that are. Is that good or bad for the UK? And we do lots of LCA assessments and making sure that bioenergy can deliver low carbon energy and replace fossil fuels. Next slide, please. But what I really wanted to talk to you today about was give a plug basically for a model we've just developed with collaboration with Aston University and the Supergen Bioenergy Hub, which is our sustainability indicator model. So even though it's developed for bioenergy, it can be replicated for all sorts of different technologies, supply chains, feedstocks, resources. So what we've done is basically analyze what takes place from the beginning of a resource being grown, mobilized, moved, processed, eventual production of energy, looks at all the different steps and worked out what indicators, what sustainability indicators are relevant to these life cycles. And we basically developed a framework, sustainability assessment framework of over 126 different issues related to people, development, natural systems, and climate change to basically assess and map sustainability for projects such as for bioenergy, but also for other projects. So we developed this model, and our next step is to try and use it to analyze some case studies. So it'd be really interesting to work with people if you want to assess the sustainability of your projects. Next slide, please. And our model allows you to map sustainability. For example, here you see all the green lines and red lines. This highlights where the sustainability benefits are from a different scheme. These benefits being things you can really promote and maximize, and also that's where the red lines are, where different risks are. So if you can identify, sustainability is very much a balance between risks and benefits. You can't be fully sustainable or fully not sustainable. It's very much a trade-off. So if you can identify where the benefits are, you can maximize them, or identify where the risks are, try and work to mitigate them through the various activities. So mapping sustainability is the first step to achieving sustainability. Next slide, please. And bioenergy, differently to many other renewable technologies, is really linked to the SDGs. In terms of linked to pretty much every SDG, you can make a feasible link with bioenergy, because bioenergy is very much linked to people, land, businesses, etc., etc. There is a link there to every SDG if you look hard enough. And then if you develop your bioenergy scheme in a way, for example, where you do things sustainably, low carbon, etc., you could provide a mechanism for improving people's lives through achieving the sustainable development goals. And within our model, you can see all the linkages there. You can start to map of how your different scheme or how your project or your resource or your supply chain, what that actually means for the SDGs and where the impacts are, whether they're good or bad. Next slide, please. I think this is the final slide. So sustainability indicators don't work on their own. By looking at sustainability indicators and look at how they bounce off each other, it's really important to look at these networking issues. For example, if you do something that will substitute fossil fuels, that will have a knock-on effect on sustainability related to people, their health, potential jobs, replacement of fossil fuels, etc., etc. So every single sustainability indicator does not work in isolation on its own. So we do sustainability indicator networking analysis. It's basically targets. If you target one certain area, what will the knock-on effects be to have the largest overall footprint or benefit on sustainability? So this is also within our model. We'd like to work with people to use our model. So please get in touch with me if you'd like to talk to us. Last slide. yeah, so basically it'd be great to work with you. If you want to map your sustainability, please get in touch. And it's been really interesting listening to all the presentations today. Thanks for having me.